Well, welcome back to Homestead on the Brook. You'll notice we're not on our property at the moment. We're actually at Anthony's house. He's been helping us build our house. And today we are gathering supplies to build our toilet block. So this will be the first video in a mini series about building our toilet block. And at the end of the series, we're going to get a flushing toilet on our property because we haven't had a working toilet. And we've only been using a chemical toilet and carrying the waste compartment to a dumping point nearby. I've done that over 150 times. It's roughly about 3.2 tons of sewage that I've physically hauled off this property since we moved there 15 months ago. We'll get some materials and then we'll go back to our house.
Here he comes.
So huge thanks to Anthony's dad for letting us rummage through all his stuff. And now I've got some toilet block material. So we'll see you back at ours and then we'll go through the design of what we're going to build. Any last words?
Not really. I'm excited to not shower in a draft.
Yes. Alright, we're back at ours. We're going to start our toilet block today, which I'm really excited for. I don't know if you can see some of the posts in the long grass here, but these 6 posts, which we did when we concreted the house stumps, are going to hold our little toilet block that we're going to build. Because we've been camping here for the last year and a half, and we've only been using a chemical toilet. This chemical toilet, and this is the same one we've used for the last 17 months. And it's been great. Most of the time it's been 5 of us using it, but now Jethro, our youngest, is toilet trained and he's now using it too. So I've been emptying it every 4 days on average, but lately it's been 3 days because there's an extra person using it and it's filling up a lot faster. So I've been taking this top half off and carrying the waste compartment to a dumping point nearby. And I've done that over 150 times in the last 17 months. And this is a 21 litre tank. So you run the math on that and it's roughly about 3.2 tons of sewage that I've physically hauled off this property. I can't even fathom how much sewage that is. That's like the equivalent of a Ram 3500 dual cab ute, which is just insane. That is a lot of sewage. So I am very ready to have a flushing toilet on this property. The stakes are high for this one. Emptying this is one homestead chore that I'm looking forward to it being the last time I ever have to do it. So the toilet block will also have a shower, and I might just show you our little shower setup at the moment. So over here is our little shower cage. And this is where we shower at the moment. Outside, we use a little Julka hot tap gas hot water system. We had that set up since before winter last year, so we've almost had this set up for a whole year now. Let's jump back over to the toilet block site. But we're just going to mow this and get this ready to start some bearers today, and hopefully the joists, and get this project moving. And I'm not going to bore you with that, so let's just. That's better. Now that this is mowed, we're going to jump inside. I'm going to show you a bit of a diagram of what we're going to build. So let's get into it. This is the carport we built to live in while we built our house. I've officially started calling it the car fort. It's basically a fort we just built in the middle of this field to live in. So if you haven't checked out our car fort tour, I'll link that up in the corner. For those who saw our first tour, you notice that the space has changed quite a bit. We're probably due for another tour because this space has evolved a lot over the last 8 months. All right, anyway, let's quickly draw out what our floor plan will be for... Let's quickly draw out the floor plan of our little toilet block. So we're going to have stairs leading up to a small deck at the front where the door will be here in the middle to walk in. On the inside to be where the toilet is with a door into the toilet here. We're probably going to stack our washing machine and dryer just here behind the toilet until we finish the house, and then we'll move the laundry into the house. Here we're going to have our shower and a basin. So that's basically the floor plan of the toilet. And then when you're looking at the toilet from the side, we're going to have our footings, our posts, our toilet block room, our deck, and we're going to have rafter roof with some slightly slanted rafters coming down for the veranda roof. This will all be cladded with metal. This will be open. There'll be stairs coming up on the side of the deck. That's what it's going to look like on the side. Entrance onto the deck and door will be in the middle of the deck, heading into the bathroom from here. That's the floor plan and the side profile of our toilet block. that's about all we can do for today. I've used most of the wood we got from Anthony. We've got these 2 pieces left, but they're a bit wide, so I'll have to trim them down to be 200 wide like the rest of the joists, and then I'll need to get enough wood for about 8 or 9 more joists. Then we're going to pack up, go inside. It's very hot, it's like 35 today. It's warm. Good morning, we're back on the toilet block. I've just been to Bunnings this morning and I've gotten a whole bunch of subfloor, wall timber and decking timber. The plan today is to finish the joists and the blocking. I'm actually going to deviate from this plan a bit. So some of this wood I got from Anthony, but it's like laminated like layers of timber. And this is all I've got. I need more. And these are 200 wide, but I can't find anything that's local, that's 200 wide, that's not special order. So yeah, it takes a few weeks to come in. I don't have a few weeks. I need to build this thing pronto. I'm going to take these joists off that we did a couple of days ago. And I'm actually just going to use the same wood that we have for the joists on the house, because I've still got a whole bundle of 6 meter lengths. And then they can just run the whole length and just be done with it. They'll all be the same size. They'll be a lot better to screw into. They won't be this like laminated, layered stuff. Oh! The joys of recording in Queensland heat. Top of 38 today, it's very hot. The GoPro is filming out in the sun and it just stopped because it's too hot. So the progress is probably going to jump forward from this point, but I'm just doing all the brackets for the joists. Grace is cutting all the blocking that will go between the joists on all the bearers. And once we get that all done, we can start putting our cement fibre sheeting subfloor on top of the joists, and I'll wait for the GoPro to cool down, but there'll be a bit of a jump in the progress. Please stand by. Alright, break time. It's 11:45 and it's just too hot. But we've just finished the blocking for the front veranda side of the toilet block. We just got to do the blocking in the middle row over the bearer and down the end on those bearers. And then we're ready to put some cement fibre subfloor down, which is really exciting. And we'll be able to actually stand up there and get a real sense of what the toilet height will be like.
37 degrees right now.
Way too hot. Yeah, look at my shirt.
His whole
I don't know if you
shirt
can
is
tell.
separated. This is the only part of his shirt that's dry.
That's the dry part, and then this is just absolutely... I can't even see it on my sunglasses, there's so much sweat dripping down the lens. Okay, so it's about 5:50, we've had a bit of a break over lunch when it got really hot. Grace is just continuing to measure all the blocking gaps and cut it on the drop saw. So this afternoon's job is to try and get the blocking done and the subfloor sheets at least started, if not on completely. So see how we go. But the only reason I know how to do all this is because we're building that, which is our main house, and it's been completely overrun by grass. So it's kind of like halted that job because I just cannot keep on top of it at the moment. And I've got 2 weeks off over Christmas, so we're going to try and get this toilet block done so we can have our flushing toilet operating ASAP. Alright, we've just finished all the blocking and now we're going to lay our first piece of fibre cement, which is really exciting. So,
It's really heavy.
it's so heavy, what the heck?
How'd you get those all?
There you have it, this is our bathroom. I'm pretty happy with it. Pretty level, it's all nice and tight. So that's going to be Merbo decking. So I've got the Merbo decking over there on the trailer. This is going to be like a 1.4-ish meter deck out the front of the bathroom with some steps leading up on the side. And yes, this is all sweat. It is so humid today. Figures I had to build this thing on the hottest week we've had this summer. It's the only time I have off over Christmas, so Christmas is actually in 2 days. So I'm going to try and get as much of the walls up as I can. So now that the floor is done, I'm going to start putting up the exterior walls and then maybe even start the rafters. But I've never done any roofing before, so that'll take quite a bit of figuring out to get right. I haven't even done this stage on our main house. So if you haven't seen our house series, I encourage you to go check it out. But yeah, we've only just finished the joists. We haven't even started the blocking on the house. We've only done the sides of the veranda on each end, nothing on the middle of the house. So there's still a lot of work to do over there. And just doing this small 2.4 by 3 meter bathroom, I think I'm more nervous about doing the house after doing this now. It's going to be a massive job. But one sheet at a time, and then eventually you lay the last sheet. So yeah, anyway, let's get onto the walls. That's exciting. Walls are done, but we've still got a bunch of bracing, sarking, a whole lot of other fiddly stuff to do for the doorway. It's looking pretty impressive. That's crazy. So cool. So now we're just going to move on to the Merbo decking and get as much of that done before sun goes down. Alright, well, that's the end of another day. It's actually starting to look like something now. Oh yeah. So another big day tomorrow. It'll look even more like a room tomorrow. And it's Christmas Eve tomorrow too. Yeah, gotta wrap presents tonight.
Dad, you can't put it under the tree.
But what if they're wrapped up in paper? You won't know what they are.
No, what?
So,
I don't know what they are.
so can we put them under the tree if they're wrapped up in paper?
Because I want to keep them for Christmas.
Yeah, you'll get them for Christmas. But I think Jethro might try to open some if we put them under the tree tonight.
You know, it's only 2 more sleeps until Christmas.
I know. But I'll say, Mom, Jeffrey's not going to take the presents.
Are you so excited?
Yes.
Get presents?
Yeah.
And to celebrate with your family? And your cousins? And your Lola?
Alright, we're going light hunting tonight, so let's go get cleaned up and go look at some Christmas lights. Bye, toilet block.
It'll be 5. And at 5,
Ooh, good morning. Alright, day 4 of the toilet block build. Get some more of these Merbo boards screwed down. Alright, let's get set up, get the camera set up and get into it. Well, done a bunch more decking. Grace has been doing a bunch of the noggins. It's almost 11 o'clock and it is just too hot. It is absolutely disgusting. That might be it for a couple of days. Tomorrow's Christmas. Yeah, I think we're just gonna leave it there. It's just too hot. So see you in a couple of days. Good morning. We're back on the toilet block. Today is Boxing Day. Had a really nice chilled Christmas yesterday, which was lovely. And now we're back onto the walls of the toilet block. So today I want to get the rest of the noggins in. Just on this side wall, a couple on this side wall. The front needs to be done. So I've just installed my first header. I thought that the header had something to do with the door, but it's actually got nothing to do with the door and it's only for the roof. So this header helps support spreading that load of the heavy roof rafters. I want to get a top plate done on the back and the front, and that just lets you put rafters anywhere. You don't have to worry about putting rafters over the studs. So they're 450 apart, but my roof rafters are going to be 600 apart, which means there will only be 5. So 1 each end and then 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm just at Bunnings grabbing a few more supplies for the toilet block. And thinking about the door for the toilet section, I'm seriously considering a barn style door. The other alternative is like an internal sliding door, but those internal sliding pocket frames are like a few $100. So could do a sliding barn door. Let me know in the comments what you think. So we just had a crazy microburst storm pop up out of nowhere. The wind was insane. Roll the clip. Anyway, so that happened and knocked over our ladder. Doesn't look like there's any damage. Just fell on this last board. Fell through the doorway, which was kind of lucky. But at least I know that this thing is fairly sturdy because it didn't fall over. Got a pretty good weather test just then. I've just gotten back from Bunnings, grabbed some wood for the battens that will go across the rafters that the sheet metal will be screwed onto, and enough wood to also frame the toilet section on the inside. So I'm just going to unload these onto the trailer and then brace for some more rain coming. What do you reckon, Ransom? Good? Good toilet room?
The deck is almost finished.
The deck is almost finished. It is almost finished. Just got a few more rows. Yeah. Now that we've got all the bracing on, I'm much more happy with how sturdy this thing is. So, looking really good. So that'll be a wrap for this video. In the next video, we're going to start the rafters and get this roof on. Once we get the roof on, the tin, and sark the walls, technically we can get a toilet installed here and finish the tin later for the walls. Like we can actually start getting this thing plumbed up to the septic system and sort of do things in tandem while we finish the toilet block, but we could still get a working toilet in here sooner than later, which would be awesome. Anyway, so like, subscribe, share, and I'll catch you in the next one.